So if you happen to catch my best and worst episode, you probably know that the last album I reviewed in 2013 ended up being my album of the year in a strange cataclysm of crazily proficient skill, perfect timing, and, well, releasing into a year where I didn't really review a lot of shit. And don't get me wrong, I completely stand behind that choice, but if the album I listened to this week had come out just a few weeks earlier, it would have plucked that title away like a fat American's wallet during a walking tour of Amsterdam. Not to mention it would have knocked poor AFI out of the list altogether. Fuck, I would have had to turn in my Despair Faction membership card and hairstyling kit. To say Transgender Dysphoria Blues is good doesn't even do it justice. It'd be like saying System of a Down's lyrics are a bit quirky, or that Chinese Democracy took a little while to release. You want to know how good this album is? By the second track, Paralytic States, it literally brought me to tears. Swelling, emotional, first 15 minutes of up tears. That's insane. I can't even think of the last album that had that kind of effect on me. Hell, none of Against Me's previous albums had this effect on me, so how in the hell is this album so fucking goddamn wonderful? Well, it certainly helps that the album is wonderfully played and technically gorgeous. Adam Willard's drumming, particularly on the title track and Unconditional Love, is very splashy. It's bouncy and rhythmic in just the right places, and he's isn't afraid to up the intensity when the occasion calls for it. And James Bowman and Laura Jane Grace's guitar work is crisp, energetic, and extremely forceful. I've always been a huge fan of Against Me's style. It's just distorted and grungy enough to drive the beat into your head, while remaining clean and vibrant enough to not drown out the melodies. I think longtime fans will be happy to hear that despite the massive shakeups the band has undergone, their trademark Against Me sound has not only survived, but has been improved upon in the transition. Speaking of transitions, yeah, even though this album is instrumentally proficient, that isn't what pushes it over the top into brilliance. I can summarize what does that in 2 words: theme and tone. I can honestly say this is probably one of the best concept albums to have been released in ages. Unlike a lot of scepters out there that tend to get bogged down in wanky narrative or mealy-mouth ramblings about vague ideas, this album tells an achingly painful and earnestly intimate story. It's equal parts beautiful in its soulfulness and humanity, and hideous in the confusion, desperation, and cruelty that's invoked upon its characters. And this isn't done through mountains of exposition or clunky narrative either, it's done through the tone of the tracks themselves. The lyrics are simple, stark, and straightforward, while at the same time having a profound sense of emotional weight. This is seriously one of the most quotable albums I've ever heard. I think I inadvertently memorized half the lyric sheet without thinking about it. I mean, a line like "you've got no in your strut" sounds like a Sam Kinison routine when taken out of context, but put together with the themes of insecurity and uncertainty and Grace's howling, wonderful contralto, it has the effect of an existential wrecking ball. That's another thing too, Grace's vocals absolutely conquer on this album. Her screeching wails on Drinking with the Jocks and Black Me Out perfectly amplify the rage and ferocity of those tracks, and on Two Coffins and True Trans Soul Rebel, her range and flexibility exquisitely conveys the depth of her sadness and the hopelessness of her plight. For her to retain this much raw, unbridled vocal prowess in mid-transition is absolutely bonkers. Bitch all you want to about your sore throat, Axl. Grace is hardlining 20 milligrams of pure estrogen every week. That doesn't stop her from kicking ass on the mic. I know it's still way too early to call it, but I already think this album has a nice, cozy spot in my best of 2014 list. And this is a year in which Foo Fighters, Mastodon, and even Tool are expected to release albums, so you know I'm not kidding around. It's been a very long time since I heard a concept so wonderfully fleshed out, and this is coming from a guy who listens to a lot of Rush, so believe me, I do not make that sentiment lightly. I mean, okay, maybe this album won't impact you personally the same way it did for me, fair enough, but it's such an unbelievably frank and sincere piece of audible art that it at least deserves the chance to do so. Buy it, buy it, buy it, buy it, buy it, buy it, buy it. An amazingly exquisite effort, Laura Jane. Please, for the love of God, keep up the good work. Transgender Dysphoria Blues gets 5 Tom Gables out of 5 Laura Jane Graces.